Welcome in, everybody. I'm Noah Castor, and as always, I'm joined by Brandon Hudson and Darren Kinslow, and we are the Benchwarmers. I'd just like to start by saying we do have that 500 subscriber goal by the start of the season. To enter to win, you just subscribe, and we're going to send out updates when we get closer to that goal. Also, I'd like to say thank you guys for the support with the last couple of videos. The Steelers video and the Titans video did really well, and we really appreciate it. With that being said, let's get right into it. The Ravens offseason report, they've made some moves. I'm going to shoot over to Darren to start off.
Yeah, I'm just going to focus mainly on offense because I know Brandon wants to talk about the defense. But I think it really comes down to Lamar Jackson. He's got to be able to throw the football better because, I think obviously they're going to be a run-first kind of team.
Definitely.
But eventually the quarterback's going to have to throw the football, and I think Lamar Jackson needs to make sure he's working on that in the offseason, which I think he will. Now, for the moves that they made on offense, they did pick up Mark Ingram from the Saints. I like that pick, especially, like I said, run-first kind of team.
Definitely.
They did draft Marquise Hollywood Brown, so that should help Lamar Jackson out. When it comes to throwing the ball, they also drafted Miles Boykin as well. So pretty good moves on the offense, but they did lose Michael Crabtree. They did lose Alex Collins. So
and John Brown too.
Yep, John Brown. That's a big one. But I do think that they were able to fill the holes, with those guys leaving.
Definitely.
So I think it really just comes down to Lamar Jackson and can he throw the ball in big time situations. But I do like the offense. And I mean, let's keep in mind they were 10-6 last year and they won the division. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Definitely. Gonna shoot over to Brandon and talk about the defense a little bit.
Yeah, so they picked up Earl Thomas, which is big for him, losing Eric Weddle. I think that was a very smart move.
Yep.
He was going to fit right in there for him, and I think he's going to be outstanding at the Ravens, especially with some of the defensive players they have signed this year. And then they signed Shane Ray as well. I liked Shane Ray. I watched him a little bit through Mizzou and then go to the Broncos. Mm-hmm. So it'll be nice seeing him there. I think he'll probably fit pretty good into there too as well to help their line out. But overall, I mean, the defense, they've lost a lot of players over the years, or since last year, I should say. They lost a lot over the offseason.
Yeah.
And definitely hurt them. But they also picked up, like Darren was saying earlier, a lot of young guys that will fit right in there, and if all they got to do is just stay together and do what they got to do, and this team will actually be pretty decent like they were last year.
Definitely, I agree. I think the Ravens season basically comes down to two things: how Lamar Jackson develops and how the young defense is able to step into those roles, because they lost a lot of veteran guys in C.J. Mosley, Zadarius Smith, and Terrell Suggs. So. And Eric Weddle, you can't forget him. So it all depends on how they step into that role. And I'm going to ask you guys, do you see, the new additions and the receivers, Marquise Brown, do you see them having a big impact? If Lamar Jackson can't develop, how much impact are they really going to have?
I think they're going to just that's tough, but I think, if anything, they help Lamar Jackson develop. I mean, honestly, I know they're young, but I do think that Lamar Jackson is going to need great receivers around him if he's going to develop into a better passer. But, that's what I got.
And definitely, they do have a really good tight end group, too, so that's going to help a lot with someone that struggles with accuracy. A big target out there is going to be good for them. All right, where do they land in the division? It's a tough division besides the Bengals, but where do they land?
I really don't know. I think the worst they could do is third, and the best they could do is first. Honestly, I'm sticking with the Steelers winning that division.
Yep.
And I think that the Browns, with all the moves they've made, I think they take second. Yep. So that leaves the Ravens at third. But it's another one of those divisions where I could see any team landing anywhere.
Yeah, I agree with Darren. I think a lot of looking at this year, there's a lot of big moves going around everywhere. So, I think a lot of all these divisions are going to be like that. All of them are going to be like, this team could win, this team could win. This team could go last, this team could go last.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that this year is going to be actually a pretty good season to watch, seeing all the moves that went around. And I think Darren's right. They could take third, they could take first. I don't see them taking last. That's for sure.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of sucks because I look at the Ravens roster and I see a really good team, but just by their opponents in the division, I do agree with Darren that they probably go third not because they're a bad team at all, it's because the teams above them are so much more talented. It just comes down to that. So unless Lamar Jackson takes a huge leap, which I don't see it happening with a quarterback of his skill set, I just see the Ravens coming in third, not because they had a bad season, just because of how tough that division is. So.
I think when you look at their record at the end of the year next year, I think you're gonna be, that's a good team. But they're still gonna take third.
Yeah, it's tough. It's one of those divisions where you could definitely see any team besides the Bengals, like first, second through third. You could see any of those teams landing there. So it's definitely tough. I think that concludes it for the Ravens offseason report. Stay tuned because we do have the Bears one coming up next. This has been the Benchwarmers, guys.
Deuces.